Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to the Versus Stars podcast. All my loyal listeners, thank you for your continued support. And remember, click the subscribe button, everybody. It's an amazing episode because Ryan Adams boards the mothership. You know him as Angus Medford on the Ark. Come aboard as we go traversing the stars. Hello, Mr. Adams. Thank you for coming to Versus Stars podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Totally my pleasure. I'm a big fan of yours. Me and my wife were binge watching the Ark. So it's very, she's envious that you're on the show.
Oh wow. Oh wow. That's so kind. Thank you so much.
No, totally. Like I said, I started watching it before. Then she looked and she's like, "What is that?" I was like, "It's the Ark." And she started sitting down, and then she just got sucked in. She's like, "You're not allowed to watch it unless I'm around." I said, "Okay."
Oh, brilliant. That's so cool. Wow, thank you for watching.
Oh, no problem. So we start off with a question of inspiration. So, what inspired your love of acting, and who your earliest influences?
Oh wow. Who inspired my love for acting? I think my mum, honestly. She's not an actor, but basically she sort of pushed me in the direction of acting.
Yeah.
After like doing my exams and stuff, I didn't really know what to do because I failed them all.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
I was such like a bad school kid, essentially. Not in the sense of like naughty, but like I just didn't revise.
So
Yeah,
not
it was.
Angus at all. You're definitely not
Oh
Angus.
no. Angus and me, like intelligence wise, could not be further apart. Um, but yeah, I didn't know what to do after school, and my mum was just like, "Oh well, we've always loved going to the theater. You love films. You love
Hmm.
this." So yeah, she was just like, "Give it a go," and I was like, "Okay." And that was the first time I'd ever acted, and yeah, never looked back.
Well, in 2021, you got a BA from Arts Ed in acting. So what?
I
So what
did.
led you to choose that school, and what did the school teach you about the profession?
Why did I choose that school? Well, honestly, like when you're auditioning for drama schools, right? It's quite a daunting process because you know you like you train like your speeches and you go over them
Hmm.
so many times and and you just go and audition at all these schools and like for me like I'd never even been to London really before going to audition at these like London drama schools. I've gone like a few times to watch like plays and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But yeah, it was quite the experience like auditioning at all these schools. Um and yeah, I went to arts ed and like as soon as I always relate it to like when you go to like a hot country on
Hmm.
like you jet off, land, hot country, and you step off the plane and the heat just
Yes.
like hits you. When I walked into arts ed, um, like the energy of just like, you know, like musical theater, acting, like just a
Yeah.
bunch of like just that energy just hit me, and I was like, wow, like this is so cool. And then just yeah, throughout the day that I had there, like the workshop I did, and like the like when I did my speeches, I just felt really comfortable. The tutors like just seemed really like friendly and stuff like that. Um, and yeah, and then I got a place, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. Yeah, and what I mean, yeah, they taught us like essentially like everything under the sun in terms of like technique, and then like it's up to you to like pick and choose what works for
Hmm.
you, and then you make your sort of like process out of that. I'm still sort of like making my process because I'm still quite new um to the world of acting, but yeah, it was a wild ride. Yeah.
Now you graduated in 2021. In 2023, The Ark comes out, and you're a star. Now I assume you didn't film in 2023. So how soon into your towards your graduation did you get the part?
Yeah, so graduated in 2021 around like June, and then I think like January 22, I got the audition, and by March 22, I'd got the role and I was flying off to shoot it. So I think before that, I'd done literally like a couple of short films.
Yeah.
I was very lucky. I sort of hit the ground running like after coming out of drama school with like getting an agent and getting like quite quick work, which was really lucky, especially during like I mean this was like sort of peak COVID.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I was very very lucky in that sense. And yeah, like before I knew it, like at one point I'm in like class,
Yeah.
like with my notepad, like learning, and then the next I'm like learning from doing the job. Do you know what I mean? It was, yeah, I still look back and I'm like, I feel like I haven't really like had time to sit down and just be like, whoa, like what the hell just happened? Like when I think back to shooting season 1, like just a blur. You know, like I just barely remember it, but yeah, crazy. It was crazy.
It must be like a baseball player who hits a home run their first at bat in the majors. You know, first at bat, stand up, first pitch, home run. There you are. You already got it.
Exactly. Like, yeah, I don't really watch baseball, but I totally get
How that must be pretty good for the ego. Do you kind of walk around like, yeah, right out of graduation, I'm a star. Thank you so much. I
Oh
must
no,
be awesome.
not at all. I've got some close friends who really like keep me grounded. Like I remember coming back home after shooting, because we shot it in Serbia. I remember coming back home and immediately getting like slated by my boys, and I'm like, wow, back to reality. This is great. But yeah, no, I have a lot of like friends who are just like, yeah, just keep me grounded and stuff like that. But
Good.
also like I feel like you shouldn't really have too big of an ego if you're an actor. Really, it's maybe, I mean, that's probably great for like, you know, boxing or or something that's like, you know, like that. But yeah, in terms of acting, I don't really think that's necessary. But
But
yeah.
sounds like you're having a healthy transition from student to star. I mean, you seem pretty much grounded. You're not quite there. Like, I'm not signing autographs yet. Have you had the opportunity to sign autographs yet?
No, I haven't. It's really annoying because the show isn't out in the UK, and obviously I'm from the UK.
Really?
Yeah, it's not out yet, and I don't know when it's coming out. But I've heard like from the American cast, they're like getting recognized and stuff like that, and I'm like, wow, like I just walk the street and like, you know, no one knows who I am. Which is, I mean, obviously like some people do because like, you know, from like where I live or whatever.
Yeah.
But no one knows who I am from like the Ark or anything like that. So yeah, it's very. I can imagine it's very different walking around as like a cast member in the UK than it is in America. But
Well,
yeah, no, I'm yet to sign an autograph or like take a selfie or anything like that.
I'm amazed because, like I said, because you're the art can be found on Syfy. It's on Peacock streaming. So I guess does Peacock not stream in the UK yet?
We do have Peacock, but it's like the UK Peacock, so I think it's similar to like Netflix, how like there's different programs depending on like what country you're in. So yeah, no, we don't have it at all, which is annoying because like my friends and family like can't watch it. I'm just like, I promise I'm in this show. Like I swear.
Like,
Yeah.
sure you are. Like you're
Sure, buddy.
like when people like in high school, like if you're a real nerd, no, I have a girlfriend. She lives over there. You just haven't met
Yeah,
her
she goes to
yet.
a different school.
Yeah.
You don't know her. She goes to a different school. Oh yeah, what's her name? Don't worry about it.
So I guess there's no point in the convention circuit quite yet in Britain then for you.
I don't know. I mean, I'd love to go to a convention. I'd love because I mean, like growing up, I'd like watch on YouTube, like, you know, The Walking Dead's panel or something like that. You know, like all those like Comic-Con stuff. So I'd absolutely love to go there and even just like to be a fan. Do you know what I mean? Like, let alone go there to do the arc or, you know, sign autographs or whatever and meet fans. Like, yeah, I'd love to go to conventions. I've never been, so yeah, to go there for the arc would be spectacular.
Yeah, and like I'm sure social media, go on Facebook. You can join some of those the Arc Facebook groups. Some of them are quite large.
Yeah, no, I get invited to them all the time, and I see what they're doing, and it's great. I'm not going to join them, unfortunately. I don't know. I actually have some like family members that are like part of these groups. But yeah, I didn't want to join. I think basically just because like I don't know, I think it'd be weird if like one of like the cast was like in the group and like I don't know, but
being like, that guy plays Angus, is really awesome.
Yeah, you're like, dude, don't you play him? Like, but no, yeah, I see what they do. I see all the like Twitter mentions and stuff like that, and I get a load of really like lovely DMs as well, which is super nice. And yeah, the fact that we have like a fan base and like I have people like talking about me online, like it's just it's crazy. So yeah, I'm really appreciative.
I mean, in all the arc, you play one of the best characters on the show. Definitely one of the ones that are the most fascinating. You play Angus Medford, for those who don't know. So how do you get involved in the series, and what interests you about Angus?
how did I get involved in the series? I got an email one day from my agent with the audition, and I immediately saw Dean Devlin's name attached to it. I saw Jonathan Glass's name attached to it, and already knew of them from their previous work. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. And yeah, like before that, like I said, I'd literally just done like a couple short films. And I was like, wow, to get this as like my first like big sort of role would be so great. And yeah, I put my all into the audition as always. And like got through to like the next round. I was like having Zoom calls with Dean and everything. And yeah, but like before I knew it, like they were like emailing my agent telling him tell him not to cut his hair because like we might be like signing him to do the role, so they can like cut it and start how they wanted it. And I was like, and when you get that message, it's like, oh my god, this is very close. So hopefully I get it. And then, yeah, I found I got it. And what I loved about Angus was just like, I think to audition I had to do all of his scenes in episode 1. And like it's like, I mean, that first episode is such like a huge, like literally like huge explosion essentially. And yeah, he comes like, you know, running onto the scene, you know, full of energy, full of like I always say he's like a puppy. And I just really loved his energy. I just really loved who he was in terms of like in the show, like out of the group of people on this spaceship, he just seemed so different. And like, I mean, none of them are really ready for what is happening, but Angus especially, because like he's just a boy, you know, like he really is just a little kid, a genius, but yeah, just completely naive and really like myself as the actor learning on the job essentially. So yeah, I loved what I read. I loved it, and yeah, was lucky enough to get it.
So this sounds like a pun, but it's not. How much of Angus's arc on the arc were you familiar with when the series started? Did they kind of give you a sense of where you're headed? Did you know the size of the character was going to be on the show when you first got it, or did they kind of just over time watched you and kind of just adapted as it went?
I know there was quite a few of us that got taken into like Dean's office, and he had like a talk with us before we started shooting about just stuff we had to know as the actor for our characters. Like a lot of people got told secrets about their character that like I know people in the show who still have their secret that hasn't been like shown yet on the screen. Yeah, I know, and I've been trying to get it out of them. And they still won't tell me. But I didn't get a secret. And I was like, oh man, I really wanted like a Angus is secretly like the villain or something like that. Do you know what I mean? But no, I didn't really know much at all. And this is actually quite funny. So they were writing sort of as we were going. And I remember like the sort of first week or two, we just had a lot of like cast meals, including like the like Dean and everyone as well, just to like get to know each other and stuff. And I remember I'd always like sit next to Christy, who plays Garnet, and we just got along so well. And I remember them seeing that, and then that's why they wrote in the sort of
the fantasy scene.
Well, the crush, the whole like Angus has a crush on Garnet. That's why they wrote it in, because they just saw how like well we got on in real life, which was really cool. But yeah, no, I literally knew nothing about where they were taking him until I got the scripts, you know. So yeah, it was really fun to like. I mean, I was a fan of the show, you know, when we were doing it. Like, I remember like coming back to the hotel after like doing a day on set and reading the next episode and being like, whoa, like this is so cool. So yeah, it was fun.
So we don't know if Garnet's secret was that she's going to end up with Angus in season 2. I mean, right? I mean, we don't know. That could be the thing.
Yeah, come on, man. I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, I think. Oh wow, I was about to spoil something. Never mind.
Oh, go right ahead. No one's watching.
I can't. I feel like I've already spoiled too much. Like when I'm in these interviews, it's like it's so because I'm still so new to it. It's like And then obviously when I speak to the cast about it, we're like, throwing spoilers around all the time because, we're all part of the show. When I come to like talk to someone about it, I'm like, I can't say that. Yeah.
I would definitely not put it right in the note, right on top. Ryan Adams reveals blah blah blah. Totally won't do
title.
that. Go right ahead.
Oh man.
So the cool thing with Angus, so he experiences a lot of ups and downs as a member of Arc One. He big help, solve some things, seems to screw up some things along the way as well. Kind of a lot of ups and downs. So how prepared is he to shoulder the level of responsibility that he has on the arc?
I don't think he's prepared at all. Literally, no, I don't think he's prepared at all for the amount of responsibility. He literally, in terms of what he thought was going to happen, like he went asleep in that pod thinking he was going to wake up not too long before landing on Proxima B, with all his higher ups, all his idols there, and he was going to just sort of tag along and be a helping hand essentially, and have this incredible experience working with his idols, and be able to save humanity along the way. Next thing he knows, he snaps awake and the whole spaceship is falling apart, and all his idols are dead, and everything about what he thought was going to happen doesn't happen, and now he's in charge of horticulture, and he's just not ready at all. And that whole season is well, for every character really, is them learning to take charge and learning to survive, really, because we are in just a huge metal floating coffin essentially. And I mean, the whole show is essentially these characters every episode going through fight or flight, and no matter which one they pick, they could end up dead. So it's there's a lot of learning going on, and I think I love how Angus was written in the like final couple of episodes. I think he really like came into his own, and is quite damaged essentially after what happened, and I which is bad for him, but like I loved exploring that, and loved going a bit deeper into who he was, and yeah, I'm really proud of those like last few episodes for sure.
Are we going to get backstory on Angus at some point? Like, because some of the characters, they start moving a little bit back to like who they were a little bit before. Angus is kind of a clean slate on his past. So how much of his past are we going to get information on, you think?
I have no idea. I would love to do some backstory stuff. I'd love to do some like flashbacks to his life on Earth, or so. I feel like it would be great to have like a whole episode where we go through like each character, sort of like 10 minutes for each of them or something, where it's like, or maybe not that long, but like, we're just showing their life on Earth. I think that would be really, really cool. But yeah, in terms of like his backstory, I don't know much. I made a lot of it up, like for myself, like, when I was prepping for the role. So yeah, I would love to explore it for sure. I don't know if it will happen, but we'll see.
So your headcanon, as it were, what is your headcanon then for Angus? And keep in mind, it becomes canon for everybody once you say it.
I can't say it because then it does become canon, and I'm a terrible writer, so it's probably terrible. But no, I don't know. I just sort of I wouldn't say exactly what it is, but I just for myself, I worked out like his relationship with his parents, with his family, his like lifestyle on Earth. I mean, for I'll say this for him, I thought he was like a big like sort of video game fan, big into like reading, big into like playing like video games with his mates, not so much like a sporty guy, but like all of his outdoor sort of life is in like gardening and stuff. But yeah, like I just did a bit of a lot of stuff for me. Will it actually come true? I don't know. Maybe I'll get a script one day and it will be like completely different. I don't know, but that's why.
So in your opinion, because remember the story of Kelly with Maddox in later on, and that relationship is like, how close would Angus's relationship do you think is closer to what Kelly had with her mother, or do you think Angus had a good one with his parents?
I think nice one. Trying to get out of me. I see what you're doing. All right. I would say I think Angus did have a good relationship with his parents. I think purely because of how sort of much of a nervous wreck he was. I took what was in the show and I sort of worked backwards. I think the characters who had maybe a bit of a tougher upbringing, were dealt with situations that happened on the arc a lot better maybe. I'm thinking like I'm lucky enough I had quite a nice upbringing as like Ryan, so I'm thinking like how would I react? I would probably freak the heck out. So I just applied that to Angus. But yeah, that's that.
So let's see if you can answer this one. Obviously he's in charge of horticulture. He becomes it. He kind of finds himself in that situation. I guess initially he was freaked out by it, but is there any level of ambition in him who is once eventually or begins to like having that level of responsibility and control and leadership?
Oh wow, good question. I don't know. I think he would love he would love to one day like be who he sort of was in like those later episodes in terms of like really taking control. And I think it was like around mid-season where there was that time jump, where you really saw him, he was literally up on a stool in the mess hall being like, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I've made. So yeah, I think he would have like before going on to the arc, he would have loved to one day like thought of himself as that person. Happened a bit quicker than he probably would have liked. But yeah.
Could he captain the arc 1? Or I guess technically could be arc 15 now. I don't know what's going to happen. But do you think he has that potential to be the leader?
I think anyone on that ship probably does, because they are incredibly smart. Angus is probably quite low down in terms of like the entire crew list. But I think he's a great scientist, and he knows a lot of stuff. He's a great mathematician. He's very clever. In terms of like military smarts, he knows nothing at all. So in those scenarios, he probably wouldn't be great. But yeah, he is. I feel like with a bit of experience, he can be very good at problem solving. So yeah, hey, who knows? Maybe one day Angus will be captain. Who knows?
Well, I mean, later on in the series, once again, he's dealing with Kelly, and she's telling him, even though she's kind of she's a little manipulative, but at the same time, she's kind of not, telling him about how important he is, the most important person on the ship, that kind of thing. How much did you think Angus absorbed out of what she was telling him about that? Do you think any of that kind of sunk in? He's like, oh, maybe I am, or do you think he was kind of like, you're kind of a psycho?
No, I think he totally believed it. I think he was really falling for her spell, kind of thing. It's funny because me and Samantha had a lot of conversations about their relationship, because it was quite a big part of both of our characters' stories. But yeah, she really, I think, yeah, she really did start off by like trying to manipulate him. But that sort of merged with his like her actual feelings towards him.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think like this is like his first sort of girlfriend in a way. It doesn't end up well, but like before those events occur, like I mean, you just got to think to like your first sort of relationship, and like how everything was just, you saw everything in rose tinted glasses, as soon as that like relate, even like maybe like the talking stage beforehand, everything is just so like saturated and so alive, so yeah, he was just like, yes, okay, I believe everything you say. Yeah, I think he really did believe, and I believe it as well. I think Angus is one of the most important people on the ship. Maybe not like the most important. I don't think Angus would agree with that he is the most important. But yeah, he without him, like they would have no food, so yeah, there is some truth behind it.
Well, I mean, we know Angus is going to end up with Lieutenant Garnett, obviously, but the writers seem to be implying very heavily of a Angus Alicia relationship here. At least, and it seems very much like Alicia's pretty straightforward about the whole thing, especially at the end. And Angus kind of seems to give her not a blow off, but he doesn't really reciprocate the way you would successfully. Let's put it that way. So does he not see it? Is he freaked out after dealing? I mean, if his first girlfriend sort of is Kelly and how that played out, is that affecting how he's viewing Alicia? What's happening there?
I'm actually very glad you asked this question. I'm going to give you an exclusive right now.
Ooh, okay. Here
Something I've never said before. So originally, when we got that scene, that final scene between Angus and Alicia, it was quite different. In the original scene, Angus. So when I was about to say Stacey, when Alicia says, maybe we should make our second kisses a bit more memorable, or whatever the line is. In the original version of the scene, Angus completely over his head.
Okay.
And that was it. And I had a hard time reading it. I was like, because for my like prep work for Angus in episode 10 and 11 when he gets kidnapped, a large part of what I think Angus is thinking of when he's on arc 15 is Alicia. Because he sort of like really does want to get back, obviously, because arc 1 is sort of his like home. Yeah. But like we start to see just like inklings of a spark there before there is that moment with Kelly. So I think he is like he is thinking, what have I done, like, and before, I mean, even before that, like, Alicia is such a great friend to him. So I think a lot of what Angus is thinking of on arc 15 is Alicia. So I spoke to the writers, and I suggested that it get changed, and Angus does acknowledge it, and does think about going in for maybe a kiss, but like just before that happens, like a flash of like his whole experience of Kelly happens. I mean, she was gonna kill him. That the life was getting strangled out of him, and he was seconds away from death. So I really do think it's led to some sort of like sort of like PTSD almost. Like it might sound like quite like silly kind of thing, like, because like a girlfriend PTSD or something, but like it was his first girlfriend, and he did nearly die because of her. So yeah, I'm really glad they agreed to go down that route that I suggested, and yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens next.
I mean, are we looking at like I don't know how if you know the reference, we talking about like a Ross Rachel will they won't they through season 2 now probably?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if Angus will make it past episode 1 of season 2 because of how it ended. But yeah, I don't know anything about that, but yeah, we'll see.
In your opinion, should they be together? Do you think they work together as a couple, or do you think he needs someone, Garnett as it were, someone who's stronger, or someone who's doing something different out of him than Alicia would?
I think they do work well together. Yeah. I think Alicia early on the series reminded Angus a lot of home, because I think Alicia could fit into Angus's friend group at home because they're very alike. So yeah, I think they would work well together. Yeah. I think Garnet was a bit ambitious for Angus, and in no way whatsoever do I think Garnet has feelings towards him. Why am I so blurry now? What's going on? There we go. And in no way do I think Garnet has feelings, those sort of things towards him. But yeah, I think they could work together. Will it happen? Who knows?
Well, the one thing about the arc of the first season is that it has a really big body count. I mean, people die a lot on that series. I mean, it's sort of like, it feels like Survivor Island, where eventually it's gonna be down to just one person left on the planet by themselves. They're like, hey, we're here. So, in your
Yeah.
opinion, what are the odds of Angus being able to survive this?
Um, I
Is
have
he a
no idea.
survivor?
Sorry.
Is he a survivor, you think?
Oh, I think he is now. I think after Arc 15, um, like in some ways it's quite it damaged him, but like in other ways, in terms of survival, it brought him up to a whole nother level, you
Mm,
know. Angus would never had imagined that he'd have to manipulate a manipulator, you
mm,
know, and he couldn't like had this whole plan in his head to save Garnet, Trust, Lane, and and go back to Arc One. Like he had this whole plan to rescue them, and like see like episode one Angus would never
mm.
ever. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think he has got some survival instinct now. But that like you say, there is a large body count. People die on the show, so I don't know. I have no idea. We'll see.
Do we know if we're surviving season 2 yet?
I have no idea. I haven't even received a script for season two, so I
You're
don't know.
you're in season 2 though. We know that.
I am in season two. I can confirm that I make an appearance. For how long for though? I have no idea.
So, I mean, Angus demonstrated some serious guts, and once again dealing with his events on Arc 15. So, how do you think that example of courage is impacting Angus moving forward?
Um, I mean, yeah, like I said, I think he has a good understanding of survival now. He's literally been seconds away from death. I mean, probably like multiple times, but like I don't think never in the show until he was getting the like life squeezed out of him had he like really been like shocked, like shook that way, you know. So yeah, I think I mean, I don't know if the writers are going to carry this forward, but I think he is a bit more of a man now. You know,
Mm,
I think at the start of the show he was a boy, and he has had to grow up very quickly. Of course, he's still he's still Angus. He's still quite young. He's still that like sort of puppy dog energy. But yeah, I think there is a lot more to him now. Um, and yeah, I'd love to explore that. We'll see.
and as we said, congratulations, season 2. Like I said, you guys are renewed. Fantastic.
Thank
Well
you,
done.
thank you so much.
No problem. So, for those listeners, and obviously the writers are not watching whatsoever. What do you think will happen with Angus going forward? Like, if you had the writing pen in your hand, where would you think the character should be taken?
Oh goodness, where do I think the character should be taken? Um, I don't know. I mean, no matter what I say, it will not be as good as the fantastic writers that we have on the show. What they will write, um, even if they do decide to kill me off in episode one. Um, but I don't know. I think yeah, like I said, I think I would like to just see. I think yeah, I'd like to see inklings of those of the Angus we saw on Arc 15. I'd like to see that carry on. I'd like to see that develop. I'd love like more comedic scenes and like like how I had in season one. But yeah, I think I would like to see more of him sort of taking charge. And yeah, sort of stepping up and maybe joining the bridge crew.
Mm.
Perhaps I've been wanting that for so long. Like those guys would always go and shoot for like days, and I'd just be in my hotel room, like, yes, another day, waiting for the biodome scenes. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Well, I think he would. I mean, you would think, considering the importance of what he does on the ship, and because he's already been involved in some pretty heavy things. I mean, the comet and the water. I mean, the creating the food. You would think at some point someone would be like, "So, Angus, what do you think?"
Yeah, you wanna come join us on the bridge? Like maybe
Right?
even if it's just like the I forget what the room's called, but you know how they have the table with all the chairs
Yeah.
and they have those meetings. I'd love to be part of that. We'll see.
I mean, especially because Alicia's there. I mean, God, his girlfriend's going to be on the ship, on the bridge, and he won't get to be. That kind of sucks. I'd be
Sucks, right?
a
It's
little
it's it's
envious.
awful. Um, Yeah. I know.
So, I mean, do we know? Do you have an idea? Have they discussed like when they think it's going to start shooting the second season? Is the writer strike hurting it at all?
We start shooting next month. I think that's confirmed. If not, it is now. We start shooting next month. We have a good few episodes written, I'm pretty sure, before the writer's strike happens. But yeah, I think the plan is to full steam ahead until we reach the end of what's written, and then if the strike is still going on, then of course we'll go on hold. But yeah, that's all I know.
Well, like I said, even though, like I said, those in the in England, UK don't understand what you're doing. In the United States, you're a star already. So congratulations. And like you said, one day you got to do the convention circle around here, and with people who will know what you've done.
Exactly. I can't wait. I can't wait to like in person. That'd be so good. That'd be so cool.
Mr. Adams, it's been an absolute honor to speak with you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. Thank you, man. You too.